Hello there, and welcome to another episode in Vedic Astrology. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the various zodiac signs, in astrology, and I'm just going to talk about there are totally 12 zodiac signs. You may already know, but I'm only going to talk about the first six today because it will be too long to go through all 12 in one episode. Okay, so just the first six. All right. Start with number one. The first zodiac sign is Aries, and Aries is it's the first one. It's because it starts in um, the it starts when during the springtime. So traditionally, springtime has been considered the start of the new year because that's when you plant the seeds for for growing the crops for the whole fall of next year. So that's traditionally, even though our calendar says that January is the start of the year, um, spring is spring in the sense I'm talking about the period in March when Aries starts. That's considered as the start of the of a new year. Okay, so it's not, I think we have spent too much time on the new year, but Aries. The characteristics of Aries is a very it's a me first sign. It's always about the self, and it's ruled by the planet Mars. So they're very fiery. Aries is very fiery, and it's considered with energy, with outbursts of energy, violence, aggression, and that sort of stuff. So Aries is connected with things like law enforcement, police, army, sports, athletes, very energetic, fire personnel, and things like that. Okay, and they're also very entrepreneurial. It's because they are a cardinal sign. They just want to jump in first and think later. So it's an action oriented sign. So that's Aries. Next, after Aries, you come to a sign of Taurus. Now, Taurus is an earthly sign. Earthly in the sense it's even though it's ruled by Venus. Venus, as you know, is a planet of if you followed my previous episode, Venus is a planet of luxury, arts, leisure, things like that. So Taurus is kind of like that, even though it's an earthly sign. And since it's an earthly sign, it's also very pragmatic, very practical. So they don't take too much unnecessary risks. They are slow. They start slowly. They think before jumping into a situation. But once they jump into a situation, it's Taurus just does not give up. Taurus is another name for annual bull. So a lot of stamina, lot of strength, and since it's a Venusian house, it's also it's a sign of possessions. They are very possession oriented. They want to collect things, money oriented, and they Taurus is actually very concerned about security. So, monetary security, home security, and that sort of stuff. Okay, so Taurus is just what I described. It's earthly sign, and it's also a Venus sign. It's what I call the fixed sign. Fixed in the sense, as I said, uh, it's once they know the path that they are going into, they stick to it. They don't take unnecessary turns, jump off the path, go do something else. It's straight and narrow, right? And once they made up their mind, it's very difficult to convince them to go otherwise. That's the characteristic of fixed sign. Okay, so after Taurus, we come to the sign of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and so Mercury is, as you know, it's a small, agile, very fast planet, and Mercury deals with your mind, your thinking process, your communication, your speech, generally day-to-day hobbies, things like that, right? So Gemini is related to, again, as its ruler Mercury, it's related to communication. It's Gemini is very, very communicative. It's very talkative, and they jump from task to task to task to task. They don't sit still. They always have to keep doing something. They're good multitaskers. They have to multitask. It's There's no other option. I feel too bored just concentrating on one thing. Gemini is what they call a mutable sign. Mutable is where it's they start doing something and do something else, and so they keep switching around. So that's what mutable is, and Gemini is a very good example of that. But Gemini is concerned with talking a lot, communicating all the time, jumping from task to task, things to do, and that's Gemini for you. All right. So number 4 is sign of Cancer. Now Cancer is ruled by Moon, so very emotional sign. It's a watery sign. Okay, watery as in water does not have its own shape, right, or its own form. It basically conforms to whatever container it's in, right? You put it in a like a cup, it takes the shape of a cup. You put it in a jar, it takes the shape of a jar. Things like that. You put it in the ocean, it takes the shape of an ocean. So that's what it is. So they don't have their own form. They basically um, their form depends on their surroundings. Okay, Cancer is also cardinal. Cardinal is like Aries, right? Cardinal is where they go for it. They whatever they want, they just go for it. So they are initiators. So Cancer is let's see, let's put all this together. Cancer is your moon. Moon deals with your emotions, your home. um, so Cancer is a very homely sign. Cancer likes to uh, they're very, very protective of their home, of their children, of their families. They're very motherly, right? And um, they cardinal. That's what cardinal is. They are seen as a protector of the home. Whereas Aries is seen as protector of self, protector of self-interest. Cancer protects the home, the family, and that sort of thing. And it's very emotional sign, and it's a watery sign. Okay, emotions. That's what it means. Watery signs are usually very emotional, right? All right. So after Cancer, we have the sign of Leo. Leo is very, very expressive. Leo is a show-off sign because it's ruled by the Sun. Sun is all about ego, about showing off, being the center of attention in a room. So Leo is just that. Leo is the lion, right? Lions are the kings of the jungle. So that's that's what lion is, and that's what Leo is. Leo is again a fiery sign. So uh, they are whenever they walk into a room, they are there, right? Not just because they are the center of attention. They are very, very, they are aggressive people. They aggressively show off. Let's put it that way. Okay. So, and it's also a fixed sign, fixed like Taurus, right? They are stubborn. Leo is very, very stubborn. Once Leo has made up its mind, they just stick to that, and the finishers, they persevere, right? Leo, that's what it does. So fiery, it's a fire sign, it's a fixed sign, and it's the ruler is Sun. And then finally, number 6, not finally, but in this series, the last one, is a sign of Virgo. Virgo is the ruler is Mercury, but unlike Gemini, right? Virgo is a perfectionist. So Virgo, they very, very picky people. They what they call people with obsessive compulsive disorder, right? They want everything to be in a particular way. They're perfectionists. If something is not, if let's say um, the work that they're doing is not up to par, and it's for them it's never up to par. It's always not good enough for them. Um, so it's that's how they they are wired. Okay, so perfectionists always, and not just perfectionists in themselves, about other people too. So critical, highly critical about, not highly, but critical. uh, they kind of, they are not out there, unlike Leo. They kind of stick to the background, so they don't, make themselves too, what do you call it, they're not too much in the foreground. Okay, so because of that, they very good, Virgo makes a very good, for lack of a better word, secretary. It's more of, uh, somebody who's in a, how do I put this, is in a helping situation for, for corporate setting. Okay, and ideal examples are things like accountants, um, computer programmers, and secretaries. I wouldn't put the nurses in this category. Nurses more like Cancer, uh, because Virgo is not, it's not a watery sign, right? It's an earth sign, like Taurus. It's an earth sign. That means they are very, very practical, and they're also mutable. So they don't charge ahead, and neither are they stubborn. They are stubborn in their obsessive compulsive disorderness, but um, they they are not, take charge kind of. Virgo is not a take charge sign. It's, as I said, it's more of the ancillary kind of a role that they play. Okay, so that's that, and that's it. Yeah, we have covered six, and the next episode I'll cover the remaining six. And okay, so I hope this was helpful, and I will see you again later. Bye bye.